It is me. I'm back again.
We did it.
I'm back.
We did
I'm
it.
back in action. Oh.
So
You thought you could get rid of me, but you couldn't.
why I don't who are you you're talking to your cats again, aren't you?
I'm looking at you.
You're looking at me, but you're talking to your cats.
Idiot.
Again, this is how I'm gonna start the whole thing. Just with us.
Oh,
blabbering.
God. Hey, you guys. It's the Brightside with Mikey and Rachel. I'm Rachel.
I'm Mikey.
And this is the podcast where we talk about Lindy Hop, our opinions, and other silly stuff. Mikey's making silly faces at me.
Because I have to be kind of quiet this time. I turned myself up in the recording machine, but yeah, because I don't want. It's late over here. It's midnight over here.
People are sleeping.
Yeah, my roommate is sleeping in the other room, and I was like, I'm gonna try to do this, and I'm gonna try to stay quiet. And she's like, okay, I'll yell at you if you're too loud. And I was like, you could just text me.
Just send a little texty text.
Just send a little texty text.
How are you? What's
I'm
going
good.
on?
I'm good. I am officially legal in the country of Europe.
Hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
Winky, winky.
Winky, winky. Yeah, because every other
You
time
can
has been.
officially ask Mikey out on a date now. Hello.
I mean, that
Ladies
too, I guess.
are blowing the phone up.
In all the languages, in the Indian languages, and the Spanish languages, and the Latin languages, and the French languages, and the English languages too.
Sounds like you don't speak any of those languages.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's I got word early this week that they're like it's a German visa, and it's so funny because it's just like two sentences. Sorry, 2 sentences. That's all the email was. It was like, "Hello, Mr. Pedroza. We have your visa ready to pick up. Please bring your passport and $50, and it will be ready to pick up. Thank you very much. Goodbye." That was it.
Wow.
That was it. Like, the most official part was all the stuff underneath the person's name, the agent's name. It was great.
Yeah.
There was like 50 lines of that, and then there was like 2 lines to me. I mean, German efficiency at its best.
Wow. Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And just so it's so funny because I posted that stuff on Facebook, and it was like all these likes and all the craziness, and so many private messages being like, "So, what do you plan to do in Germany now? Like, what kind of stuff are you doing?" Like mostly people inquiring to see like where I might fit in, or like asking to see like, do I need to be worried?
And the answer to all of that was yes.
Of course, yes. You should be worried.
Be very afraid.
Hide your kids. Hide your wives.
Hide your
Mikey's
wives.
coming to town.
Hey, yo. Hello.
But yeah, it's
Cackle,
cool.
cackle.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna live in Madrid or maybe Berlin. We'll see what happens. Or Freiburg. There's some cool opportunities everywhere here, which is really, really great. But yeah, but it's funny because like I'll be here until mid-December, and then I won't be back in Europe until April. In which case, like after about a month, I'll have to like reapply for my visa because it's like,
really?
Yeah, you have to like do it like before 3 months of the end of your visa, and they only gave me it for a year. So yeah, it's really funny. But I mean, it's cool. It's great. I mean, it was so easy before. It was stressful at first because I didn't know what to expect, but it was really, really easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. How you been? How you doing?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What did I do this week? I don't know. I taught the intro class at Lindy Groove.
Oh, good old Lindy Groove.
Good old Lindy Groove. I went dancing at Atomic on Friday.
How was that?
Oh my God. It was good. So fun fact about me is that I don't like driving at night because I fall asleep.
Yes. The old I'm bored of driving. I should just fall asleep while I'm driving.
The old I'm bored of driving syndrome. So I don't like to drive to Atomic at night because it's like an hour away.
Yeah.
I don't like to drive to Atomic ever because it's an hour away. And
now you know what I feel like when I drive to your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yet you always volunteer.
Because I love that drive. I love driving. I'm a Californian completely.
God.
Love to drive.
So I carpool every week with Lance and Vicky, who run Lindy Groove, and they're night owls.
Yeah,
they
they are.
go to bed every night at like 5 or 6 a.m. and then they get up at like 2 or 3 p.m. and they both work from home, so it works for them. But so we have like a very regimented schedule of our evening. Like we go get food.
Oh, right.
Well, first we get coffee, then we get food, then we go pick up Delphine in Long Beach, and then we go to Atomic.
Oh my
and
God, you guys go like the long way around. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. And then we literally are the last people to leave the dance every single night. Like they're turning off the lights and we are finally walking out the door. And then we have to go get breakfast because Lance and Vicky haven't eaten quote unquote dinner yet. So then we have to go get
starts
food.
after 1 a.m.
Exactly. And the dance ends at like 1:30. So we leave Atomic at like 2, which by that time I've hit my high point and I need to go home and go to bed. But they're like, hungry belly. Let's go to Denny's. So then we go to Denny's because it's the only thing that's open in Orange County at 2 a.m.
I have to say, though, I do miss Denny's every once in a while. Like, I haven't had it in like 2 years, but still, like, I do miss it every once in a while because I'm like, it's always dependable. You know, you're going to get the same really bright eggs or like perfectly toasted toast.
Perfectly toasted toast. No, see, that's where we disagree because I think that Denny's is hot garbage.
That's
it's
what I mean.
Garbaggio.
Oh, completely is. But like, it's garbage you can
total
trust.
Garbaggio. Anyway, we don't get home. I didn't get home on Friday till like 4:45 in the morning, and then Saturday I was wrecked. I was such a wreck. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep up with them anymore. And then I had to like miss my improv practice and like not do anything else except for like be a lamey.
Yeah, that's right. I did. I think we did our last one after that on a Saturday, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did.
And you were like, I hate life.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I hate my life.
Until you have coffee and food, and then you're fine again.
No, well, I mean, I'm better, but it's like
No.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Like when I'm used to getting up at 5 a.m. to go to work, it's really difficult to go to sleep at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? The struggle is so real.
Yeah, I tried.
So
Like we tried to record last night for me, yesterday-ish for you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, 6 a.m. Sure, no problem. And I was like, I went out because there's an event out here in Madrid called the World Jam, and I was like, I went out until like 4:30 or 5, and I'm like walking home, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have walked home. I should have taken a taxi. And I'm like falling asleep as I'm walking. I'm like, I could do this. And I get here, and I'm like, I see my bed, and I'm like, I can't do this. And that's when I texted you, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't even stay awake. So
It's cool. It's cool. We're recording now, so that's all that matters.
But the last thing is, so there's event World Jam. It's really great. It's like a backwards event, like where most events are mostly dance first and then like everything else second, like classes and everything, very dance focused. This is like a little bit the other way around. There's like full class about musicality and not about playing instruments, but like how to feel the music differently and understand it and understand the structure. And there's like 5 bands here. There's 6 bands, small bands, all from Europe, but like they all play in the same night. So they all play like 6 songs sets, and like the DJ is like playing 5 songs just to make sure, like 5 or 6 songs, something like that, to make sure that the next band can go up and then they start playing. Like, and that's just sometimes
crazy.
Yeah. And so they had a contest. They had a Strictly, and the Strictly was each couple finals. Each couple got 2 choruses, two 16/8s, 1 to 1 band, and then immediately into the next band. So they got two choruses from 2 different bands.
Whoa.
Yeah, 1 chorus from each.
How did that go?
A little bit weird, but it was a good idea. It was a cool idea because the mood did change, but it was just so drastic. Like it even though they did it like 6 times, every time it was like the second band was like, oh yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, but it was cool. It's a cool idea because like the mood change is cool, like to feel the same song from another band, but the transition could do a little help. Like there should be like a little vamp instead of like immediately into the next band.
Yeah.
You know, a little drum vamp. But yeah,
Crazy.
but so I was walking home from that last night and like going to meet you basically online, and it's Saturday night in Madrid, big city, big lights, big city, lots of throw up on the street.
Lots of throw up.
Yeah,
on
there was
the
lots of
street.
vomit.
Excellent.
I mean, there was a ton.
Jesus.
Like, I feel like it was more than usual too. Like, and
People
it was
just out having a real
yeah,
good time.
yeah, lots of sangria. And but
Hello.
there was
fave.
one moment I walked by this one apartment building, and this guy, I saw him walking towards me, and I was walking one way down the block, and he was walking towards me up the other way, and he goes up to the buzzer, and he starts yelling and crying, and I'm like watching this, and I'm like half a block away, and I could hear it. And this guy's like, "What?" in Spanish, like, "Why don't you open the door? Just open the door. Let me talk to you." Like crying, sobbing, yelling. And he's like holding on the button, and I can hear I can hear the lady going, "Nope, no, no."
Oh my God.
And I'm just like walking past, and I get up right next to them, and he's just like holding the button with his left hand, and like pounding the wall with his right hand, and like pounding his head, and like, "Please let me in."
Jesus.
I was like, "Holy crap! I really, really wanted to put it on Instagram, but I was like, oh man, I've been there. I will not.
God.
Out of respect of this guy, I've been there. I mean, like you go up to
That's like soap opera worthy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there, but like I have no doubt in my head that he thought, because this is the way I thought too. Is like, it's gonna be so romantic. It's gonna be like Say Anything, like I'm gonna be like that John Cusack moment and just put the boombox over my head. Except it always ends up the other way, and never pretty.
Of like begging and crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a romantic moment in my life wherein a guy
Period.
has been like, I've never had a romantic moment in my life. Story of my life. Also, begging and crying is like never sexy.
It really isn't. It really isn't. I mean, obviously, if it's never been in a porn.
Oh my God. I was dancing with Augie Freeman on Friday, and I don't know what, I did some like wiggly legs and like walked towards him all silly. And he was like, he said something along the lines of like, that's like a anti-sexy, or like a like a silly sexy, or like a goofy romantic thing. I don't know.
I mean,
it was like
that's Rachel in a nutshell.
Anti-romantic or something. I was like, that's like the story of my life. Like, I don't think I've ever once in my life looked in the mirror and been like, damn, I'm sexy today.
Or even if you did do that, you'd be like, damn, I'm sexy today.
Damn, look at my face when I twist it up like this and talk with an accent like this. Oh, damn.
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly.
Only when I talk with that kind of voice, I feel sexy.
Without saying too much, I have definitely been there where I've been like, this is going to be so awesome. And then I get there and it ends up being like crying and patheticness. And I'm like, oh, this is a horrible idea. But I mean, love. Love. It's horrible and necessary and disgusting all at the same time. So let's jump into
love's keen sting.
I mean, I thought I was John Cusack. Let's be honest, but I'm more of like a John Candy.
Jesus.
The comedian no one asked for, yet they still got.
God. Anyway.
So,
moving on.
When or do you remember your first dance class?
My first dance class that I can remember was like Lindy Hop specifically.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, we usually don't talk about Lindy Hop on this show, so might as well just start talking about it now.
I know, right? I know. My first dance class was probably like in the first week of my freshman year of college.
Ooh, fun.
And I went to the swing dance club on campus. It was called Jitterbugs Anonymous.
I love that name. I love that name so much. It's so horrible. There,
but it's so good at the same time.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I went with my roommate, and we show up, and we're like standing around waiting for the lesson to begin. And this girl with this big attitude comes up to us, and she's like, "Are you guys freshmen?" And my roommate goes, "Oh, is it that obvious?"
Oh, man.
And she says something like, "You don't have that jaded look yet." But
Like,
it turned out.
Did she mean like jaded as in like you're jaded of school or jaded of the dance?
I think jaded about life or like about school, I guess. But the funny thing was that she also was a freshman, and she was like 16 or 7. Like, she was a young freshman. She had been homeschooled, or she had like skipped a grade or something. She was like 2 years younger than us. We were like, "Okay, Missy, you can just hold it right there." I don't actually remember the lesson that itself very well, except for that, like, I took the lesson and was like, "Oh, this is like pretty cool. Maybe I'll do this again."
So you don't remember what it was like, if it was like the 6 counts or the 8 counts or some Charleston?
No, I remember it was like a swing out. It was
fun.
It was probably like a swing out and a turn.
But like legit swing out.
Yeah.
That's so cool because like for me, I didn't even do a swing out until like I was like at least a year, maybe some more time already taking dance classes.
I mean, I had taken
weird, which was weird in retrospect, but like I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. I took one drop-in jitterbug lesson before that at the Tuesday night rockabilly dance in Albuquerque.
The infamous.
The
Tuesday
infamous. Night. And that was like step, rock step, rock step to crazy rockabilly music. And
the best.
And all I remember from that lesson is that people were like, see how your thumbs are on top of this person's hands?
Jesus.
Do this. And they would like pick up my thumb and then let it fall. And they would like, see that? And I'm like, I mean, I see what you're doing. They're like, yeah. And I was like,
did you see that? That's connection.
Did you see that? I was like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Like, do I not put my thumbs there? Am I like doing something special with my thumbs? Like, I don't understand. Like, no one explained to me like what it was. They were just like, "Oh, see this with your thumbs?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Yeah." like some deep revelation.
Yeah. That's so great. It's like they had just learned it themselves. Like there's like the thumb is key.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, the thumbs are key in dancing." Little did you know.
That's so funny. That's so fucking.
What
hilarious.
about you?
Well, like I said before, like I took some lessons that I was like taking like pretty heavily for like the first few months. I was like 12 or 13. I can't remember exactly, but for the first few months I was taking like, it was like kids in the class. It was the junior jitterbug class, and it was kids all around my age, maybe just a little bit younger, and we just did like 6 count stuff, like triple steps and hold steps, really like, you know, like the hold step, rock step. So like that kind of thing.
Yeah, we did that too.
Yeah, and like that made a lot of sense to me back in the day, and like and it still does. Like I still kind of battle with this kind of idea of like, which one is better, holding it or doing the triple steps? And like I still tell myself, I'm like, the triple steps are harder. Like if we can just get that out in the open and then start talking about it, and I feel like students will get it better. But yeah, so it was that I was like 12 or 13, and the first class was junior jitterbugs, and it was given at a local rec center in Laguna Niguel, and it was Dancing Deb. That was her name, Debbie.
Ooh.
Yeah, Debbie, and it was a Dancing Deb. That's all. Like I didn't even know she had a last name. I didn't even know she had a last name until like years.
It's like
later.
how teachers live at school until until you're like 15, and then you're like, oh yeah, they don't actually live at school.
It's like a robot. Like as soon as we all leave the class, they just like power down until like 6:30 in the morning the next day. They're like, yeah, pretty much. That's what I thought about it. And Dancing Deb was my first teacher. She taught a little bit of everything. Like she was like an Arthur Murray type person. Before
we still use her warm up every single week at Lindy Groove.
Who?
Same song, Lindy Groove.
No. Who uses the same song? Wait, what song? What are you talking about?
So every week at Lindy Groove, before the lessons start, they do like a huge warm up with everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same song that Deb used way back in the day when she used to teach classes.
Not that Deb. Not that Debbie. That's Debbie Gitt. That's a different girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. Just kidding.
But
my bad.
No, go ahead. Tell the story.
Crawl into my shirt.
What was the warm up?
No.
Tell me the warm up. No, it's okay. You can't crawl in your shirt.
So the warm up, crawling into my tiny t-shirt. By the way, I've worn this shirt 3 days in a row now.
And no one knows.
To work every single time. That's how little I care about my life right now.
You're so on the right track of like just wearing sweatpants every day.
God, if I could wear sweatpants to work, that would be the dream. Anyway.
The dream.
Anyway, or you want to know like what they do? You want to know what they do in the warm up?
Well, yeah, what's the warm up?
They do like they call it a stomp off. But it's like, is it a stomp off? The first move in the shim sham. I called it shim sham.
Yeah, shim sham.
Yeah. And then what do we do? Oh, then we do step touch, step touch, step touch, and then we do like a million triple steps.
Yeah.
And then we do like a little forward and back move, and then we all pause and we go woohoo because the song goes woohoo, and then we do it all over again. And then at the end we take our left foot, cross it over your right, and spin and bow.
That sounds like that. Yeah, that sounds like
that sounds like a thing that people would
joking.
do.
Yeah, totally. Like my gut instinct is to like want to make fun of it, but like really, like we all do our fucking stupid shtick. Like I have my shtick for sure, and like Lindy Groove, that's their shtick. Like, and you guys are part of it.
And Lindy Groove has been around since 2001, and I find it amazing that they still use the same warm up every single week. The same warm up. And it's the same song. Yeah. And for a while, I wasn't sure what I thought about the warm up, but now I've like kind of swung back in the opposite direction. I'm like, no,
it's good. It's good.
I like the warm up.
Yeah, it's totally good. It's totally good, especially if it's going to be the same type of thing. Like I feel like for a lot of students and a lot of schools out there, like consistency, even something like that is like sometimes maybe arbitrary that people might think of it as. The warm-up can be really nice to be like, maybe students that come like for the second week or third week, they're like, oh, yeah, that's the same thing we did last week. And maybe they like rush to come out there because maybe they can show their friends that like, oh, I already know this. And like, come on, I can show you. And they feel, it always feels nice to maybe like have a little bit of an idea before you come into something brand new or to share something that you already know with other people.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's very innate in the Lindy Hop swing dance community.
I think the other nice thing, at least with Lindy Groove's warm up, is that like we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about triple steps or steps because they've done it a million times in the warm up and they've seen how it's supposed to be done. And so then we can be like, this is a triple step. You know this already. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I do know this already. Because who wants to talk about the intricacies of triple steps in a drop-in lesson? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's garbage.
Yeah, garbaggio.
I mean, maybe not garbage. It's garbaggio. It's nice garbage.
So you had your first
fancy garbage.
So you had your first lessons in your freshman year of college.
And
then I was in my junior high times. Yeah, junior high times. So I was like 7th grade. What made you stick with it? Like, was there a specific thing, or was there anything in the lesson itself, or was there anything in the dance that just kind of spoke to you, and you were like, I can keep doing this?
Yeah, I think what it was I took the lesson, and I was like, oh, I think I might do this again. And my roommates were like on the same page. They were like, oh yeah, we could do this.
That's cool.
And we went out to the Friday dance, which was at this like little cafe, this like super cute coffee shop. And that's where all the really good dancers were. And I saw them dancing and I was like, I want to look like them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to learn how to do this. And I'm one of those people who's like, I won't commit to something unless I know I'm going to be good at it or I'm going to work hard enough to be really good at it.
Like to get a goal or something.
Yeah, like I don't dabble in hobbies because I don't like not being good at things, and so
Also,
I have
dabble is a
to.
horrible word.
Dabble's a terrible word. Double. And and I, I like to dabble.
Ugh, ugh, ugh. I had a little bit of vomit in my in my throat every time I hear it now.
In my vocals. Oh gosh. so yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna commit to this.
That's really funny because like I feel like that is what really got me interested in furthering the dance as well. Like there was like 2 moments where I was like, there's so much more out here that I can remember for sure. Like it was early.
Yeah.
One of them was like watching the old clips. Like my older brother John, he started before me and he made a lot of friends in the SoCal dance scene. And like from them, he got access to a lot of the old footage that like is so readily available now in YouTube. But back in the day, it was like, I think I had this like 3rd hand, 4th hand copy of like Groovy Movie, you know, like it was like cool. So I saw like Groovy Movie and Day at the Races and Hell's Poppin' in the same night. And,
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was like, I remember sitting in my brother's room on the edge of the bed, like watching it and being like, what is that? Like I want it. Like it just like captivated me. And this and the second thing was my brother's friends like I think it was like close to Christmas time or like New Year's or something a long time ago, and my brother's friends were all going to go out to this club called Music City.
Okay.
And there was the Mighty Blues Kings playing there. And they were like jump blues band, and looking back, like their music is actually pretty badass. But like back then, I was like, it's kind of corny. Like where's all like where's all the big band stuff? And I was like, whatever. Anyways, I had a lot of opinions for someone with such a big head. So
Shocking.
Yeah, right. And so I remember we used my brother's old ID. So I used that one, and he used his more recent one, and I got in. And it was totally fine. Like, but I was way underage. I was like maybe 15, and it was like it was supposed to be 18 and over. And yeah, so we walked in. They all started dancing. The place was fucking packed, and I sit down and continuously sit down for 3 hours. And I didn't move from this like little like chair where I was just like watching wide eyed, like all these people. They're all. It's like those movies. Oh my God.
Man.
Oh my God. And then I remember one of my brother's friends like taking me out to dance floor, and like we danced one song, and then she's like, and then the next song she was like trying to show me a swing out, but I was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I had seen it before, but I was like, I can't, and so I just froze, and then I was like, okay, bye. And I just like walked away from her in the middle of that second dance, and she's like, okay.
Oh.
But I was nervous, but like I was so excited to like see everything. I was just like, wow. And then we, of course, went to Denny's afterwards, and then I went home, and I just like dreamt about dancing for the next few years of my life.
Oh man. Yeah, that Friday night dance that I used to go to was like, I remember sitting there for weeks before anybody asked me to dance. Mm-hmm. Just like sitting there by myself the entire time, just watching people dance. And like, it was in a small coffee shop. It wasn't like I was hiding. There was like no place to hide.
Right.
And the dance had like 20 dancers because that's what the scene was at the time. And so like everyone knew I was there and nobody asked me to dance.
Rachel, you know, we can all see you. Stop hiding behind that Spin magazine for some reason.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think after all that, like I remember like committing myself a lot more to like learning the dance as much as possible. Like I was doing some ballroom beforehand too. So like at the same time that they started like these kids classes, there was some like kids and adults like ballroom classes. And I was trying to doing that for a little bit. And then after all this, like watching all these vintage clips and seeing the social scene and watching all people closer to my age dancing, I was like fully committed into like more swing dancing. So I didn't really do ballroom anymore. And then after that, it was like a year. It had to be in a year into like learning. And then I finally did it like a class. There was one class where all we did for 4 weeks was just swing out stuff.
Wow.
And my mind was like blowing up because like for the whole year beforehand, like I was taking and retaking classes and helping out in other classes, and I was like, I got this. This whole like rock step, triple step thing, got it in my
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. And like, and then all of a sudden this new class of like just swing out comes out, and I was like, I have no idea what the fuck. And I feel like I wasn't a driven young person.
Yeah.
When it came to like certain things, but for the first time ever, like I remember in classes of dancing, which was so weird for me, but also so natural for me. Like I was like, this, I want to learn more. I want to learn so much more. And I'm lucky that happened like right before and as I was entering my teenage years, because after that, I fucking lost it. I was like, fuck this learning stuff. And, you know, like whatever fucking people who want to dance, like I do it every once in a while, but like, yeah, it's cool, but like not that cool, you know? I became like more like a rebel, like teenager
classic.
Lindy Hopper. Yeah, it's fucking
Jeez.
stupid. It was so fucking stupid. And I see kids going through that every once in a while, like in the local scenes or in other scenes I go to. And I'm like, yeah, I was there. You'll grow out of it. Or you'll just be a douche forever.
What do you think was the tipping point for you, and like your change of attitude? Was it just like growing
back
up,
to learning?
or was it? Yeah.
Like back to learning. Like the tipping point was kind of going to Harangue in 2004, and I was 19, and seeing all the classes and seeing how many people were in it, and seeing that there was like new things like in like the 3 years that I had stopped taking lessons, like I saw so much more happening, and I was like, but you don't look like this, you don't look like that. Like, you know, there was that like Savoy and Hollywood things, like they don't really look like Savoy, and they don't really look like Hollywood. It's kind of new, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. So it got me interested again, and through competing as well. Like I wanted to compete more. And after Harangue, like that really put like a fucking fire under my ass to go out there and see what was happening. And I took a lesson for like the first time in like 3 or 4 years after Harangue, like a couple years, like 6 or 7 months after Harangue. I took a lesson from Peter Strom and Caitlin Wellman.
Yeah.
And that was insane because I'm pretty sure it was like 2-hour class. The first hour, all we really talked about was a rock step.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I mean, like you've taken a class from Peter Strom, so
yeah,
and it could be intense. And it was back before like he had a little more control of himself as he does now, and
he's gotten softer in his old age.
Yeah, which is great because he still has that like kind of toughness, like like uncle that's gonna be like I don't know. Be that extra coach that you never asked for, and but it was before that, so like he was still kind of hard on everybody, and then we worked on that, and then like as reward, like the second class was like this like crazy ass behind the back spin thing that took a lot of like technique, and I was just like blowing my mind because I was like, I went from like, you know, being that kid is like walking in the first class and like starting to take the lesson in the back, and then like slowly as the hour progressed, like moving forward. And like trying to get closer just to make sure I'm getting everything. And I think that was the tipping point where it's like I started taking a couple lessons during the year and like listening to more people. And then it got to a point where like, especially like nowadays and where I'll listen to a class and I'll sit in and I won't really take part because I don't want to like really take part in the class. I want to see if I can understand it and kind of envision it in my head as the teachers are talking and like see if that makes sense to me, even though I'm not moving and using my body, like kind of like helping myself kind of imagine it sort of, and then seeing if it works later, you know, like seeing if that kind of feeling. Cause I feel like that for me is like, it's the best way for me to incorporate into my own dancing as opposed to try it. Because if I try it, I'm just going to try to mimic what the teacher is doing instead. Yeah. And I'm not saying that everybody should do this or does do this. I'm just saying I know that I do this. It takes something really completely out of my realm of dance ability to make me want to actually take a class. Like, for instance, like the last class that I can think of was it Romero and Romario and Sylvia at like Lone Star and what was the other one? ILHC, where they were doing like street dance, like because like he's like that missing link between like where West Coast flipped over. West Coast flipped over from Lindy Hop, where it's like where it was still considered like this street swing because it wasn't like it was still a little dirty. It wasn't as like Latin driven and lyrically driven as it is today, and so it was real dope. It's real cool to get that feeling in my body because I'm like, oh, this is really cool and familiar, but really different.
Do you feel like you learn differently now than you did as a beginner?
Oh yeah, totally. But there's a bit of a negative feeling for me because I feel like if I don't get it, then I feel like I'm a worthless person. I shouldn't be teaching this dance. What the hell am I doing? Type feeling sometimes, but that I have to get over, and that's my own kind of fear as a dancer. It's always sucks. But one thing that I've carried over that I've noticed is like I said before, like I end up mimicking a lot if I watch it a lot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of dancers from the West Coast of the United States had this feeling because we watched a lot of dance clips, and we ended up mimicking a lot, just like watching it over and over again, and they're just getting that move and then mimicking it in our bodies and making it make it whatever happen.
Yeah.
And so I was able to kind of do that and watch it over and over again, and I've taken that over time to like, okay, I can just copy this. But the drawback of that is I don't get the feel of it. I just kind of like do the movement and without any kind of feeling behind it. You know, it's kind of empty.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to envision it and have to feel it. And then I have to like find it for myself as opposed to
make it your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Quicker than normal, I feel like.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, and I don't know where that came from. Like I feel like that was just like a weird thing that kind of started to happen. But the thing about classes for me nowadays, like especially being a teacher, like I feel like students need a little bit of that awareness of like how they learn.
Yeah.
Right? Of like either how they learn or how they approach information. Like I feel like that's why we have so many engineers and like tech type of people, because they're used to that studying feeling. They've studied for, you know, over half of their lives in schools, so they kind of see this Lindy Hop thing as like something else they can study. It kind of makes sense in their kind of engineering way, but also at the same time it makes them work creatively.
Yeah.
But yeah, the especially awareness. Like, do you remember if you were in a class or if you were dancing just in general, if like you were like, I can control what I'm doing with my body? Like it's like this second awareness, like after like you become a child, like I can walk and I don't have to fall. Like I feel like I had that before, but have you had that before?
Yeah, I feel like I go through many revelations where I'm like, oh, I can do this with my body. Like I have to like rediscover it every couple of years or something. Like, oh, I can move my hand and rotate my arm. Oh, my elbow is a joint and I can move it.
I love it. It's like that scene from Look Who's Talking with like Bruce Willis's voice, where it's like him in the womb and he's like, what are these things? These are fingers. I can move every single one. And he's like, I
never saw that movie.
Oh my God. It's a classic. It's an 80s classic. It is disgustingly 80s or early 90s.
Oh,
I'm going to say 80s. I'm going to say
whatever. 80s. But it's super disgustingly classic.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing that's funny is I did martial arts for 12 years, and I got to a point in my training, maybe like 8 or 9 years in, where I was really focused on finessing the technique of what I was doing. And I became like very technically strong. And then when I started dancing, it took years for me to become like technically proficient. Like, I mean, I don't know how other people look at my dancing, but I look at my own dancing as being like really flaily and like out of control. And
the truth comes out.
The truth comes out.
I'm
a Muppet.
This week on the Brightside, Rachel discovers she is a Muppet out of Jim Henson's own mind. Sick and twisted fantasy of Jim Henson. Next time on the Brightside.
Story of my life. True stories. The autobiography.
Of Laffy.
And so I feel like I'm still like very much trying to refine my own body movement. So I'm rediscovering all the time, like, oh, I can actually like move my arm just a little bit, and it might not feel like much to me, but it's still like visibly large or like aesthetically large. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Do you feel like that, like you still have this feeling from martial arts, or just because of martial arts you're more aware of it?
I think I'm more aware of it because of martial arts, but I've had to like change the way I move so much because I was so like ninja-y before. Oh my God, I'd have to like pull up these old clips of myself dancing.
Oh yes,
so
you
can
do.
see my swivels. They're like knife hand chops, like karate chops, like pew pew.
Oh man, I just want people now to like start watching your dancing as you're like just dancing somewhere and be like, Pia, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like my dancing isn't like that so much anymore, but now I'm like flailing and out of control.
But that's so good though. Like I feel like part of the awareness process is just being like, okay, I'm on this side of a spectrum, and let's see what it feels like to be on the other side. You know, it's like throwing the control like so far to the other side that you don't really have the control of it, other than kind of an idea. And I feel like that's a really good thing to have where before you were super controlled and now you're kind of flaily, as you say.
Yeah, and like recently I've started to rein it back in.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
okay, I'm working on now. I'm like really trying to finesse things, and I'm trying to discover like how I can move my body in small ways and have it still be like aesthetically detailed, or like someone can look at it and be like, oh, it's obvious that she's doing this, but I don't have to like move in the largest way possible for someone to see it.
Yeah, I think what's funny is like I was recently at Express Your Swing in Montpellier, and like it's Remy's event, and it's like such a weird mix of dancers, but like we're all like real tight friends, like it's really really close knit, but it's so like weird because like you'll have people like Vincenzo mixing with people like Sky, mixing with people like Michael Jagger, mixing with people and mixing with people like Jenny Thomas and Katya and Mo and Pontus and Isa, like people like all over the spectrum of swing dancing. But like when you bring them together, like it's such this really cool feeling where like no matter where you come from in the spectrum of how you feel this dance, like you feel kind of come together and be like, oh, like this is what we have in common, and like this is where we strip away who we are and just really get to the meat and potatoes of it, of like what does it mean to like really have a good dance and be flashy without having to be trashy.
Yeah.
Garbaggio.
Garbaggio. How do you are you doing a lot of self-assessing when you're social dancing?
Yes. Almost all the time.
How do you really?
Yeah, almost all the time.
Like what's the process like for you?
The process is like, hey, get into the mode of the music first. Then it's like do some like basic movements. Oh, why did you start with a tuck turn? Why didn't you start with a swing out? Oh, okay, let's do this. Oh, don't forget to triple step through your swing out. That's what you're kind of working on. Oh, get down into that. Oh, but keep your shoulders back and be a little more erect, because like you keep bending over and your big ass keeps flapping out behind you. Like it's literally like that. I'm not even joking. Like I went dancing tonight at the last night of the World Jam, and I only had a few dances because I was listening to the bands a lot. But during those dances, that's what I was thinking. Like the last night though, I didn't have that. Like I had so much fun, and like I had moments of like I would think about it, and then I would get so into what's happening with my partner, like because I'm dancing with totally brand new people that I haven't danced with before, and I'm like, oh, this is a good connection, or like, oh, this is not so good. How can I make this? There we go. Now it feels better. Stuff like that. So it's a little more generalized. But I'd say it's like always on in the background of my head. Like I just choose to look at it or not.
Do you think it's a good idea for a swing dancer to do that? To always be self-assessing?
Only if they want to.
Yeah.
I think first the awareness has to be there, where like you can actually see something and rearrange it, change it, fix it, whatever that is, and then you have to have a good understanding of how you move. And then after that, like you can kind of like start to look at it in different ways, whether you want to self-assess as you're doing it, or think about it a lot as you're doing it, or not care and just fucking just go for it, whatever it is. And hopefully it is just a good dance that makes you and your partner feel good, whether you're
Yeah.
whether you're a lead or a follow.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
But
I like that.
there's something right now, like especially in my social dancing, where I'm like you brought it up a couple episodes ago, where you were talking about like there's this thing you do, and I'm like, yeah, I know that thing. And so like I said it to some of the newer teachers I'm teaching with here at Swimming X, where I'm like, hey, you want to get together and like, social dance and like practice some stuff? They're like, sure. You want to practice with me? I was like, yeah. That's my social dancing. They're like, what do you mean you're social dancing? Like, like they couldn't like fathom
Yeah.
like what it is I want to do. It was like, it's like, we're going to dance, and then you're going to tell me what worked, what didn't work, and what could maybe be better, or what communication things. And then they're like, oh, like they were
actually work together.
yeah, exactly. And so that was kind of shocking for them to like be like, you still do that? I'm like, yeah, of course. I feel like that's
How
where I
could you
want to be.
not?
What's that?
I said, how could you not?
Yeah. I mean, there's always something you could be working on at some point. The only hard part is in this dance is most of it has to take place with a partner, and not everybody has access to someone they actually want to work with or get along with or could take feedback from, So that's the rough part. But I feel like especially now in classes, I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to like see who works well with each other by talking to each other. Like we always talk about communication and technique, but I think part of it, especially like kind of like the white elephant in the room white elephant in the room, the elephant in the room, whatever. But the elephant in the room of there's a lot of people that have like social awkwardness in our dance scene, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like
I would say that's like almost everyone in our dance scene.
Right. I mean, at some level, I think anybody everywhere has some sort of feeling of that, whether it be small or a lot. But I think one way to work on it in a dance class is to encourage encourage students to talk to each other in the sense of fair communication, as in like speak plainly and calmly and give feedback towards each other, and understand that like, how would I like this to be said to me, and then I'm going to try to do that to my partner. So I like to, when I put on music in a class, I'm like, hey guys, when we put on music, we understand that you want to start dancing and just like get into it, but like think about it a little bit, talk about it a little bit, use this time to actually communicate, not just through like hand gestures. Communicate with your voices to each other, and see if you can come up with a better way to do this, and then see if it works with another partner.
That's really interesting that you say that, and I wonder, like, I would love to try some sort of experiment wherein you could try to work on opening awkward people up in social situations and see if that would naturally help improve their dancing without addressing their dancing in any particular way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally. And I have a way that would work, because I feel like I've worked with a lot of people that are like, I don't understand this, and like they can't like verbalize it. So I'm like, then instead of coming up with an answer, like come up with a question first, and then pose that question to your partner and see if they can answer it for you, because they're feeling everything that you can, or that you're doing, whether it be good or bad, or late in timing, or doesn't feel quite comfortable, like stuff like that, where it's just general ways to kind of explain a movement in the dance. It's like, ask your partner, like, hey, how did that feel? Even if you felt like that went well, you should still have to ask your partner, like, how did that feel on your end? Yeah. Man, I feel like that's something to be explored in, other than this, like we always talk about, like I always hear, at least in like local scenes, is like, well, we always do these same moves and no one ever talks about technique. And I'm like, I think everybody talks about technique in their own way, whether it be a little bit or they like sneak it in and you don't even notice. But like really the best way to do it is not just pose it on your teachers, pose it to your partner, the person that you're dancing with. Like, how can we make this better? Or how can we make this original? Or how can we start evolving this or changing it, you know? And I feel like that, again, that's the self-awareness, and like that comes with time, and that comes with, you got to put in the work no matter what. Like, I respect the fact that people take lessons like weekly and just do it for fun, and that's totally great. But there's some people that come and that 5% at a dance class that comes to a dance class and it's like really gonna set goals, like you know, like go for it. Like look at somebody dancing and they're going, oh my God, I want to be there. How do I do that? Maybe classes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think there's a difference between learning at a local weekly class as opposed to learning at a large dance event?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it depends. In the local classes, like there's multiple facets. Like one of them is just one I just said is like where like you just take it one for fun on a Friday night and you're on a date or something, or you're just going out to meet new people, whatever. But I think in dance events, it's like a mad grab of information. It's like a piñata. It's like a piñata, and the teacher is just wailing at the piñata, and you're, as a student, you're just one of the kids, the smaller kids, and just waiting for it to burst so you can go and grab all the knowledge / candy that there is there and try to keep it. But this is honestly, this is where like the metaphor makes the most sense, is like when you were a kid, every time you had a bag full of candy, what happened to it? It mysteriously disappears because your parents took it away from you. And like in this case, at dance events, the knowledge mysteriously disappears because you can't hold it all in because it's all brand new, and you're having so much information thrown at you all at once within like a few hours of the next, or whatever, an hour of the next piece of information that you're getting every time, and you're like just bombarded. And if you go to a dance event and you learn 20 different things, the reality of it is really you're gonna maybe hold on to 2 of them, and the rest of them is going to be kind of lost in the wind, or maybe make sense much later, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a reality people need to really need to grasp onto. And some people won't understand that, and some other people just need to learn it.
There's been so many times where I've learned something and I've had to come back and readdress it like a year or 2 years later.
Yeah.
When I'm like finally ready to understand like what the concept is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What about those people who go to events and they're like, oh, I've taken this class from these instructors before. I'm not learning anything new. I took this class.
That's understandable. Like people can do that. Like I feel like you have to be honest with yourself. And even though those people sound like douchebags or dickheads or whatever's, the truth of the matter is like people go to dance events and they're like, they feel like they paid money for a product that they can pick and choose what they want.
Yeah.
And that's totally understandable. But if you're put in a dance weekend with different dance students and teachers that are gonna kind of fluctuate and go with the flow of like whoever's in that class, it's like it may be titled the same class title or whatever, but it may be a totally different thing because there's different dance students and there are different dance levels. So so I'm like maybe take that class. Like if there really is nothing else that tickles your fancy in that weekend, then try that dance class again, because maybe it might make sense, or maybe it might blow your mind, or maybe it might be completely left field.
Yeah, I think you could take the same class over and over again and find something new to learn every single time.
Yeah, but I like you have to be ready for it too as a student. Like I feel like if you're not going to be there for it, then don't even worry about it.
For sure.
Do you remember what was the last class you took? Dance class.
Last class I took was at Lindy Fest this past year.
Which one was it?
Which class?
Yeah. Do you remember what it was? Do you remember what you learned?
The last, Not really. I don't.
Case in point.
I don't remember.
Was it like the most advanced class of the weekend? Was it like the invitational class type thing?
Yeah, I was in the invitational class. I remember taking a class with Peter and Naomi, and I didn't understand it very well. I remember taking a class. The problem is that I've gone to Lindy Fest so many times that all the classes kind of run into each other, so I can't really differentiate between them, because I remember some of the classes that I took the previous year as well. God, and the other problem is that, like, I don't even know who taught this year. Who taught? I took a class from. Wait, you taught a class.
I taught a few classes this year at Lindy Fest. Yeah.
Wait, who did you teach with for the invitational class?
I don't think.
Was it Nina?
I don't think.
Or did you not teach it?
I don't think we had an invitational class this year. If I did, then it was definitely with Nina.
I feel like you did, but now I can't remember what it was. I remember the class from last year with you because you guys worked on turns.
Mm-hmm.
We did turns. Maybe it wasn't this year? Who did I take classes from? I took a class with Sky and Marie.
Nice.
And taking classes with Sky, I'm always like drenched afterwards. I'm from dancing so much.
From dance sweat, right? Let's just be clear.
The dance
Let's
sweat.
Let's be clear. It's that kind of wet.
Oh, good. Okay.
But
yeah, I can't remember.
I mean,
remember.
that's the case in point. I mean, in all honesty, like someone that is taking dance classes and as aware of as you are,
yeah,
it is still hard to hold on to information that you get at a dance class. Like do you remember taking dance classes? Oh, by the way, just I remember the last class I took, and I talked about it earlier. It was Romario and Sylvia class. I know what we did, but I cannot tell you what it was. I can just show you kind of, and I still can't even recreate it. Like it was just some tricky little like flick with the leg and then slide off to the left. And then there was another like little piece of a routine or like little combination that they did, but I don't remember what it was either. So like it goes to show you, like I can't remember it either. But do you remember when you were taking more regular classes, like going to dance events or whatever? Did you take any notes anywhere? Did you take any like dance notes or like video notes?
No, I was never much of a note taker, which is funny because I tried to take notes now in my improv classes. I was just never a note taker, or like I know like people love taking videos of like the class recap, and I've just never been that person.
I would love
I never go back and look at them.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see how many people like put a like what is it, a little survey out there and be like, when's the last time you went back and saw those videos that you've taken at a dance weekend, you know, where, because like I feel like every time I do that, I'm like, you guys, what, this isn't gonna, I mean, it's not that I like go over YouTube and just search my name. Well, I do every once in a while. But
Mikey Pedroza. Oh my God. Look at me. I'm so glamorous. What people are
saying about me and what they're showing about me and whatnot. No, but I'm actually curious. Yeah, but I'm actually curious. Like I really am curious. Like I'll go back and like see if a dance weekend, see what notes if they put them up on YouTube, because usually they do. And because like there's so many people, like I'll like end of class, okay everybody, yeah, okay, bye. And they're like, oh, what about video? And I'm like, okay, yeah, we could do video, because it's always like the very last thing. So I just forget it. So I just forget it because I'm like, who really does this? And I only do it now unless my partner, whoever I'm teaching with, they said they want to do it, or if someone in the class will ask, and in which case I will gladly do it. If it helps someone,
me too.
If it helps one person, no problem. But I'm always very curious to see how many people actually go back and look at them and be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
it's funny because I've been in practices a couple times with leaders who have been like, oh, let's go over this class recap. And I look at it and I'm like, this is boring. I'm not learning anything from this. Like,
and then you look at it.
Watching them do a recap, I'm like, I can't learn anything from this.
And then you go back and look at it. You're like, oh wait, that's me.
Oh, that's me teaching. Oh crap!
Fuck.
God, I look awful.
Yeah.
Who's that Muppet flailing about?
I'm still wearing the same T-shirt again.
That same gray V-neck.
That is what she's wearing, everybody.
Needs to throw that in the garbaggio. Am I right or am I right?
I mean, you're so right.
So right. I for me, like when I go to event weekends, I find that I'll discover like an overarching theme that a lot of the instructors are teaching throughout the weekend, because I feel like a lot of the instructors who are traveling and teaching all the time, they sense the waves of change and what people need to be learning at that moment during that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they all end up teaching along similar themes.
Yep.
And so I'll like find the theme of that weekend and I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on now.
Yeah. That's I mean, to each their own, man, for serious. Like if video notes help you, if writing them down, or if just putting them all together, like it makes a lot of sense.
Find what feels good. Just like
Crystals.
Open yourself up.
Your
and
chakras.
Let the love
Open your
in.
chakras and let the love
Open
in.
up your chakras and hold your energy crystals in your palms. How do you feel?
I feel like I want some popcorn.
Damn.
Damn,
that sounds good. Oh, damn.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's go on to the question of the day. The question of the day.
The old question of the day
The old
today.
question of the day.
It's from Katie Piselli.
Oh, that ladies. That is a lady. Right? I think it's a lady, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Katie.
asking actually.
Her name is Katie.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. No judging. Is she from San Diego?
No.
Do we know where she's from?
No, but she does travel a lot of events. Like I do see her, and I'm always like, oh yeah, there she is. Like, so weird. I don't know where she's from. I looked it up last time, and I can't remember where it was. But no, she's not from
Katie,
California.
we're wondering where you're from. Tell us.
She's gonna private message. She's gonna private message.
Where are you, Katie? Where are you?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm from Boston. Duh. And we're gonna be like, okay, sorry.
Sorry. Jesus. Also, everybody messaging us about every little thing that we do is so heartwarming, and at the same time, it's sort of like, thanks for letting us know how we suck. Like,
tell us how we suck more, please. We suck so bad.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for listening.
Question.
The question is, what responsibility do you think advanced dancers, especially those that travel to national events a lot, can or should have to cultivate their home scene, to go out to local dances, dance with all levels, support local musicians in their growth, etc.? What variants of and attitudes around this do you observe, like, dislike, etc.?
This question is so good. Like, I when we first read it a long time ago, a couple weeks back, I remember being like, none. That is the question, or that is the answer. None. They have no responsibility. And then I read it back and I was like, can or should? And like I was like,
should.
That's the difference. There we go.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, you guys, this is the podcast that got erased a couple weeks ago. So fear not. You're hearing it again, and I'm pretty sure for the first time. I'm pretty sure that however this podcast went was like completely different than how it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it really was. Like I remember
it was so different.
I remember it
I
because
was so
saw
much
the
grouchier
recording.
then.
I had the recording.
I'm awake now.
I had the recording of just me talking, and like the times where I'm silent, it sounds so scary because I'm like going like, But what do you think about that time? And then like just random laughing, like it's so strange.
God.
Like I listened to it, and I was like, whoa.
Ooh, I don't like myself.
Yeah, it's like I'm making my own radio show, like back in the day, like on like little cassettes or something.
Jesus.
Anyway,
back to the question. What do you think?
I mean, this can go so many ways. Like, first off, an advanced dancer should have enough knowledge to be like to take on that responsibility or not, because like really does anybody owe anything in this dance? Not really.
No.
Like, I mean, they can. Like, you can owe something to like a teacher and be like, you taught me my first rock step or something like that, or you can owe something to the first person that brought you to a dance, like stuff like that, where like that's personal. And I feel like this dance, our swing dance, Lindy Hop, like is so personal. Like you can own it and feel it the way you want to, because sometimes like if you're just an advanced dancer, all it takes for you is just to be there.
Yeah.
Just to show up at a dance and just be like, I'm a dance. You know,
Yeah.
that's about it. Like, and I think all the responsibility is like nothing different from any beginning dancer, where it's just like, hey, be cool, be nice, be responsible as a human being, and try not to hurt anybody, because sometimes people hit it every once in a while, but whatever. But the point is like, as an advanced dancer, like talking for myself, I feel my own responsibility, but I've only felt that in the past maybe like year and a half to my local scene of like Orange County and LA. But it's kind of hard when my scene is so big and so saturated with amazing dancers and people all trying to do stuff. I don't see exactly where I fit in, where my thing, my personality, the thing I bring to the dance table, like I don't know where it fits in yet, but I'm starting to try things, and that's speaking of after 18 years of dancing in the same scene, so like do what you can, support dancers in a good way. You don't have to be friends with everybody, because like the point of it is to just have a good dance, not be friends with everybody, because like let's be honest, like not everybody's gonna get along. Like there's some people that I know that I'm just like not friends with, but there's other people where I'm like I'm real tight friends with, and that keeps growing. So stuff like that, like just show up, have a good attitude as much as you can, like really go to a dance if you really want to. Don't go to just because like, well, everybody else is going. Like I fucking stay home and watch some Netflix and then go the next time, and then you'll feel even better, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's me. What about you? What do you think?
I really think it depends. Like I think that no one is obligated to do anything for any scene.
Yeah.
No matter how big or small it may be. Because if someone isn't going to put their heart into it, it's not going to actually help anybody in the long run.
Totally.
Now, that being said, I've lived in two very different dance scenes. LA is humongous.
For real.
Like every single dance that you go to in town is a different dance scene because it's so gigantic.
Yeah.
It's like overwhelmingly huge.
I mean, literally, like sometimes I forget and then I go back and I'm like, wow, it is legit.
It's so big. And I feel similarly to you. When we first moved here, I came under the impression that I was going to like be a big mover and shaker and like start up all these classes and like organize stuff and like really help out in the scene. And I haven't really found a place for myself yet. Like I teach at Lindy Groove, but I teach there like twice a month at the most. And I don't really get to flex my teaching muscles like I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to have like a whole school of classes where I can like see people every single week, track their progress, teach the things that I want to teach with the people that I want to teach.
Yeah. I think, but for me, like one of the things that you do that I kind of strive to do, but like I always feel up and down with a lot of the times, is that you just like you are there, you are like constantly dancing. Like every time you go out, like every time I see you go out, like you are always dancing. And I feel like you've turned yourself into, I mean, whether or not you're doing like the teaching stuff part of it, like let's move that to the side. Like you've turned into that person that someone else, like 18-year-old Rachel is like looking at yourself going, I want to dance like that someday, like, so because you're out there a ton and like you're really going for it. I mean, like we laugh and we joke and of course maybe a little bit of like flaily, but at the same time, like for them they're like look at it and they're like, that's fucking dope, I want to do that,
Yeah.
So like that's what I feel like if anything, the bare minimum is to just go out there and dance and be you. And I think that's enough for now. Like, unless you want to do anything further than that, like, just go out there and dance and be you on a social dance floor.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the best one. I mean, as far as the dance part goes, but supporting like local musicians and their growth and stuff, like, it's always really good to help support people in the sense of like, hey, learn your musicians, learn the people that are in that band. Like, if they're not dancers, like, go up and talk to them. Like, even if you know just a little bit of jazz history, or if not, every jazz musician I've ever talked to has been always willing to give me some sort of jazz history. Like, so like, that's the best way to support them, is to be like, hey, you play a great trumpet. And they're like, yeah, but you know who played a greater trumpet? Like, and they'll go into like 15-minute rant about something like that.
Yeah. Something that I find interesting about this question is she included like dancing with people of all levels and like the attitude of like helping cultivate a scene, which I think is something that we should address, because I think like, I don't think it should matter what level the person is at that you're dancing with.
Right.
I like every single week when I go out to Atomic, I dance with people who have only been there for a couple weeks, or it's their first night, and we still have like a perfectly good dance.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that people should be getting turned down just because they're not at the level that you're at.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, dance levels are arbitrary when it comes to a social dance. When it comes to a social dance, they're only good for classes, really. Like, I mean, like, unless you want to, for some reason in your brain, in your life, you need to kind of classify things, like, sure, you can do that, but when you're actually dancing, it shouldn't make any sense. Like, can you rock step? Sweet. Well, can you step on your right and your left foot? Even better.
Yeah.
You know, like,
sure.
that's about it. Like, I've had really, really great dances with dancers of all levels, and I've had really, really bad dances with dancers from all levels. So it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? And I think
one of my most memorable dances was with somebody who had like never danced before, and I had to like physically pull him out onto the floor. He could not dance at all, and we like ended up talking the entire time, but it ended up being a really fun dance. And I think that it was, I mean, I don't know if he came out dancing again after that. He was like a teenager, but it was fun for me.
You were his first and last dance partner.
Oh my God. I just have to say, I have to tell you this story that happened to me at Atomic on Friday that made me feel super awkward because I didn't know how to. This is 2 nights ago. This guy asked me to dance, and we danced. I didn't know who he was. He was a beginner. And then he came up and asked me to dance again later. And he was like, "You're Rachel, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I remember because you were my first."
And then there was no words. There's like period.
There was no word. There were no more words. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what that means." Like, first dance ever?
Is that what you said to him?
No, I didn't say anything. And I was like, well, what I did say was, "I'm sorry, I don't remember what your name is." And he was like, "It's okay. It's because I wasn't your first."
Oh, that is so fucking creepy.
And that's all he said. He wasn't like, "Oh, hey, by the way, like, my name is blah blah."
I wish he walked away from you, like how we were playing when we were at ILHC. We're just like wide-eyed and just like keep walking away.
Oh God. I did
like staring at you while he walked away, like just.
And the interaction was so strange. I didn't know how to gauge the situation, so I just like I just stayed silent for the rest of the time. I was like, "Sweet, I guess." I mean,
what you should do next time is close your eyes, don't move, stop breathing for a little bit, because they're attracted to movement and heat, and so they'll just be like, "Oh, I wasn't talking to anybody," and they'll just walk away very slowly.
Walk away. I don't know what he meant. Like, first.
But why didn't you ask?
Ever?
Why didn't you ask? Were you just like afraid?
Yeah. Well, I was so like taken aback by the response. Like, I just didn't know how to react. Which is a problem that I have sometimes. Like, people say something to me and I don't know how to react, so then I don't say anything and I just like sit awkwardly in silence for what could potentially be hours on end.
Yeah. I mean, I have the opposite problem. I'll pretend like I know what they're saying and like try to bullshit my way out of it.
Oh God.
And I'm like, yeah, totally. That first time, that first time's that first time is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go nowhere with it and be like
real ball buster.
And then just like hold onto their shoulder real tight and just be like, hey, I gotta go, but I'll talk to you later, okay? And then like slowly push them out.
Oh, we were in the middle of a dance though.
Oh, I thought he just walked up to you.
We were in the middle of a dance. No.
No, okay.
No, it wasn't until we started dancing that he
started
that he was like, your name is Rachel, right?
Oh.
And I was like, yes, I don't know what your name is.
Times. I mean, another swing dancer fucking makes the stereotype so much more real. Like,
oh man, it was so real.
Yeah.
It was so real.
But to finish up on this question, do something because you want to, help out because you want to, dance because you want to, whatever level you are or you think you are doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, do you love this dance? Cool. Then let's have a good dance together. That's about it.
Yeah, even just going out to your local dance and paying $5 or $7 or however much your dance costs every week, like
man.
that
is support.
That is support. In
I wonder,
so many
like,
ways.
you bring up a good thing with it. Is like, I mean, like, after like almost 20 years of doing this, I wonder how much money I've spent on dancing.
I wonder that too.
I mean, like just entrance fees into events and dances, local dances or whatever. That's so weird.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
I mean,
at least.
that's another topic right there. I'll add to
another
the list.
topic.
Yeah.
I will say that I have a friend in Albuquerque who he sometimes he would come to the dance on Saturday nights and he would be like, "Oh, I'm paying the VIP special $7." And our dance entrance was $5. Yeah. He'd be like, "I'm paying the VIP special $7." Is
that the same guy who took you to Harangue?
No. This is a different guy.
Oh, okay.
Different friend.
Okay.
Luke Templeton. Do you know him?
Why do I know that name? Like, I feel like
he was probably at 505 Stomp the year that you came. He's
probably.
Like,
sounds familiar.
He walks to the beat of his own drum.
It's either familiar or he sounds like a country music star.
You know, it's funny that you say that because he was trying to be a professional musician for a while and like had like a record or two.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay, I feel very strange about this, but yeah.
Let's pretend this conversation never happened.
Let's pretend Luke is just in the wind now.
Luke. The beating of our hearts.
So let's wrap this up. Rachel, what is your... Go ahead, sing. Our listeners love that.
Let me tell you about my Brightside for tonight.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best.
Oh, Jesus,
so what's
I'm the best.
What's Oh God, you're the best. You honestly, yes, you are. I bow down to your bestness.
Jesus. Oh God, you know, like someone has to make me laugh around here. It might as well be me.
This is why we get along, because this is all we do to ourselves. You make yourself laugh. I make myself laugh. Yeah.
It's true. Nothing changes in real life, you guys. This is how we actually talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
In real life.
What's your bright side,
my
Rachel?
side. Wow, we talked about a lot of stuff involving learning, which, if that wasn't clear, that's what this podcast was about today. I think, wow, gosh, I think it's just a reminder of like being aware of how I learn and being aware of what my body is doing, and like if I'm trying to work on something, like just being acutely aware all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like having like a really honest self-assessment of myself. Like, I know I am a super flaily dancer, and that's okay. Like, most of my peers are a lot more refined than I am, but there's a lot of things that I do that my peers don't do. So take that, you guys. But in all seriousness, like, it's true. Like, there are things that my flailiness lends to me.
You are a fucking muppet. Like,
and my energy that, like, other people can't get in their dancing because they don't have those, like, personality aspects, or they just don't move as silly like I do.
Exactly. And I think embracing that is really good as well.
Yeah,
that comes along
for
with
sure.
It.
I mean, I would say, like, to that end, it's definitely hard for me sometimes to watch myself in a competition, like in a video of a competition, and see myself move like that, and then see my peers move, and then feel like I'm not as refined as them. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm like, do I belong in this group of people, like, competing alongside these people because I can't move like they do?
I mean, that is a whole nother topic. That's a really good question. Like, just in general, because I've had those feelings and those questions for myself.
Yeah, and I would love to talk about that sometime.
But
speaking from the depths of my heart.
Every time you do that, you take away the microphone. It is the funniest shit in the world. God damn. Okay, so my bright side of this podcast today about learning and questions of the days and whatnots and stupid stuff is fucking Peter Strom and his goddamn rock steps. Like, like,
oh, man.
That is the bright side of it. If it wasn't for that, like, I don't think I would have ever started to respect the dance and started to, like, respect my own dancing and those around me. Like, if it wasn't for someone being like, listen, it's about the small things sometimes, okay? Now let's do this for an hour.
I will say that one of my most revolutionary moments was in a private lesson with Peter and Naomi. I was dancing around with Peter, and he just, like, stopped dancing with me, and he goes, stop moving and start dancing, and, like, yelled at me. And I was like, ooh, yes, sir. Right away, sir. I'm sorry. But it was true. Like, I was so nervous to dance with him that I was like, I was all seized up, and, like, he was leading things that I could totally do, but I couldn't because I was, like, too in my head.
Yeah. I mean, that's fucking classic. Like, I feel like we all had that moment with him. Like, he's that dad, uncle, coach on
Old
the sidelines,
like
that, like, it just yells at everybody, like, on the side of the field, but he'll never put himself in the direct point of being a coach. But, like, I mean, it's so good though. It sometimes the realness, you know, like when Lindy Hop gets real, like it really happens through him. And but I
personally need that realness.
Yeah. And I'm serious when I say, like, his rock steps, like, was just so crazy. Like, that was the first class I took in, like, over 3 or 4 years that was, like, eye opening, and, like, my first discovery into the grander world that is now our worldly Lindy Hop scene. Yeah. So I mean, it's so good. Like, again, everybody fucking learn the way you want to learn. Dance the way you want to dance.
Do what you want.
Say what you want to say.
Good.
The Addams Family. Do you remember that MC Hammer song? That was an MC Hammer song.
Really?
Yeah. For the second movie, he's like, they do what they want to do, say what they want to say, eat what they want to eat.
Oh, yes.
Addams Family. And then he, like, snaps a Pepsi and he, like, drinks it and is like, yeah. And with that, we're going to bring our shit to a close. Rachel, you are fucking awesome. I'm sorry for being such a weirdo for the past weekend. It was rough to get together, but I think this one turned out really good. The whole time, I don't know if you know this, but, like, the whole time, every time I had to stop myself. I was like, I've heard you say this before. Why have I? Oh yeah, because we're redoing this.
Because we're re-recording. We're re-recording
so,
this
it was
one.
really funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
You're totally okay, and
I don't think I am.
Yeah,
The way you
like-
said that, I don't believe it. So it's fine.
You're like, you're totally tolerable.
Shut up! I hate
I'm
you.
awesome. I'm the best. Remember, you're like, like if I have to deal with you, then I guess
hate
I
you.
could.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Go make me some coffee. Okay. So everybody, you know where to find us on the SoundCloud, on the iTunes,
on the iTunes,
on the Facebook.
Send us some questions.
Send us some questions and topics, and always feel free to start a conversation with us. It's always really, really fun to talk to you guys. Maybe ask us questions instead of tell us what we're doing wrong. That would be really great too. I mean, keep telling us what we're doing wrong.
No, we need to know what we're doing wrong.
How
specifically,
dare you.
Mikey?
What
is Mikey doing wrong?
Can you guys stop talking and talk?
What kind of deficiencies do you think Mikey has in his personality?
So, anyways, hashtag Rachel messes with Mikey. Oh God.
Oh.
All right, everybody.
The new name of the podcast.
From Mikey and Rachel, we're saying
adieu.
Bye.
Bye bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye. Remember, press stop this time. Press stop.
Okay, ready?
1,
2.